Hey everyone, it's Mickey and welcome to Mickey's Madhouse. Today I'll be reviewing Devil Dog, the Hound of Hell from 1978. It's a movie about this devil worshipping cult that brings forth a demon, Vargas, who he cannot be completely defeated. He can only be banished to hell for 1,000 years. So it's been 1,000 years, and they bring this demon back, but they bring him back in a dog, and the dog is going to give birth to puppies, and so there's 10 puppies, and so one of them goes to this family, and all havoc breaks loose and everything. So yeah. So the movie opens up with two men and one lady from the cult pull up to an animal shelter where some of the dogs are outside in the cages. And if anyone's been to an animal shelter or volunteered at one or both, to adopt an animal or to give an animal up for adoption, then you know. So sometimes they'll let the dogs out and let them get air, let them, you know, run around and stuff. So they go to the back and they find out there's a dog that the owner is going to breed with another. And of course, the owner is thinking there's something wrong with these people. So, you know, he's asking, what exactly do you want with the dog? I mean, of course, they're not taking any. They're like, how much do you want for the dog? And, they settled on a price. And then after that, now we're not told, because he said the next day he was going to breed the dog with his prize dog that he has. So, but we can assume now that the dog has been bred and is pregnant. And so they take her and do this, summoning of this demon, and it works. So we don't know how long after, but when we see the dog, she has puppies. So we meet the Barry family, and the dad is Mike, the mom is Betty, the son. Hold on one second. The son is Charlie, and the daughter is Bonnie. So Mike goes to pick Betty up from work, and Betty is showing him this painting that a patient of hers, drew, and I believe she works at a VA hospital that's a veterans hospital, and said that 4 weeks ago this person couldn't talk, and now, and it's a very beautiful painting drawing. So yeah, so they're talking about going out that night. They're talking about, this is me and you, be alone, and of course the restaurant they want to go to is closed on Mondays. So yeah. So on their way home, they see their dog in the middle of the road, and of course they stop the car to see the dog's okay, and their neighbor, George, pulls up and's like, yeah, I saw it, and I got in my car and tried to, get the people that did it, and he said he lost them. So that's a really good neighbor. You got a really good neighbor when they're willing to do that. I mean, of course, with animals, a lot of people are willing to do that stuff with animals, but So of course, it's the daughter Bonnie's birthday, and she's devastated. Just not doing good. So her and her brother decide to go for a bike ride, get it off their minds, relax. And one of the cult members pulls up. He has a produce truck, and he's talking about oh, would your mom, like one of these? And and of course the son sees the puppies in the back, and he's like, oh, the puppies. And so of course after the talking, Bonnie was like, well, they did say we could get a new one, so they decided to get take one. And yeah, so immediately um, the neighbor George has a dog of his own. So they he's in the kitchen, and the dining room, and has the dog there, and there's a tablecloth and stuff. And of course they bring the dog in, the puppy in, and immediately, yeah, you start to know there's something wrong because the dog's eyes start to glow. And then George's dog is like, yeah, no, and runs off and takes the tablecloth and everything on it with him. So it's like, yeah, there's something wrong here. So they have a maid, Maria, who comes over, and the mom, Betty, gave her the day off, but she's like, oh, no, no. Come on, it's her birthday. Like, I knew them when they were little, when they were in their diapers. It's like, come on, no. So, yeah, she does have a room there that she can stay, but also has a place of her own, some other place she could go. So, she starts to sense there's something wrong with the dog as well. And of course, the dog could be probably is sending out those, yeah, stay away from the kids and stay away from this family. They're mine. Probably sending out that, you will not hurt them. It's me that's going to hurt them. Yeah. That's what the demon and the dog, not the dog, the demon and the dog, um, is really saying. So, yeah. The maid later that night starts to light some candles and pray, and the dog, that puppy, is looking at her, and it looks like she had just gotten out of her shower. She had a robe on, so the sleeve of her robe, sorry, the sleeve of her robe caught fire, and so, you know, the door ends up getting closed, and so she's stuck in there, and the family had went out. So, of course, they come back and they find her, you know, Pat, she had passed away, and sadly from, the demons doing. And so, now we do know, because it's a year later, but it's Bonnie's birthday again. So the dog is all grown up, big dog, and we, the dad is fixing the lawnmower, and he has, it turned over, the blades, and the dog comes out and sits down and starts looking at him, and the blades start up, and he has this urge to put his hand in the blades, but he's able to fight it and resist it. And he notices that while this happened, the dog was out there looking at him. He's like, he's really starting to get, yeah, there's something wrong with this dog. So, of course, the kids, they start to act weird. The son is in his room looking up at the ceiling, kind of like, he did as a kid, thinking about, maybe some girl, or, a game or a tournament, or, whatever, daydreaming about getting older and certain things, probably. But in this case, you could probably say it's, yeah, this dog, this demon, not the dog. So, the dog comes in the room, and him and his sister go up to the attic. And the next scene, the mom walks into a room where, there's not an easel, it's like a board. It's kind of like, you ever see those like kind of like the tray that you could put, on your lap, or one of those pull-in trays that you can have. Some of them you can tilt down. It's kind of like that, so you can draw. And there's some paint, and she wonders if it's blood. So, but the kids come in and they're like, "What are you doing? This isn't for you. It's nothing. Get out!" And of course, with the demon possessing them, like has to realize, well, they can't act that way, because if they act that way, you know, they're not going to be able to do anything. Parents could get really mad and ground them and stuff. So the you know Charlie's like, oh, it's nothing. It's something for school, and yeah. So Betty, um, okay with the dog. The dad, Mike, is like, yeah, there's something wrong here. But Betty is like, oh, there's nothing. So one day in the evening, the kids are watching TV, and they turn it off, and but Bonnie's like, I said I was going over to her friend's house, and um, Charlie's like, I have karate practice, so so they leave, and kind of it's like eerie. The door's left open. The mother leaves the stove on, and so the pots, the stuff on there catches fire, and so yeah. But she's in the living room reading a magazine. You ever have that? There's no sound on. You can turn on sound, but it's like kind of like you're stuck in that moment where it's like you're like, man, this is freaky. It's like, and you have the wind blowing, and yeah, it's kind of one of those like, seriously, you gotta get out of that, turn some noise on, relax, and well, I mean, you could always do that, but anyway. So, um, she's in the living room trying to read a magazine, and the dog comes in the living room and gets a little closer when she looks down from the magazine, and so she goes into her room, and the dog follows her, and they get into the room when the door closes. We don't see what happens, but after this, Mike comes home and sees Betty outside. It looks like they have like their backyard is like right where the neighbor's backyard. There's even the door there that I guess you can say goes both ways. So it's kind of, and of course the family is close. So, I mean, with the neighbor, so it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But the wife, the mom, Betty, starts to take off her clothes and like, let's go skinny dipping. And the dad's like, well, George could be looking, and of course Betty doesn't care because of all the stuff that's happened with the demon. So she takes off all her clothes and gets in the pool, and so Mike's like, well, okay. So he goes in, and he starts, yeah, but he does start to notice, there are some things really going on. The neighbor, of course, is noticing because he has a dog, and they say animals can sense evil. Well, yeah, his dog definitely senses evil with their new dog. So he complains that their new dog is hounding his, and I know, bad wording there, but he notices, their new dog is hounding his, and so he calls the cops and complains and says, you need to get rid of that dog. Of course, the cops don't do anything, and well, his dog sadly does end up dying, and we don't get to see it, but they say that the dog is tore up. So probably there's claw marks in him. It's probably bad, but of course, then he does call the cops, and Mike is like, yeah, there definitely is something wrong. Sadly, then after that, George does, end up dying. Mike sees him laying in the pool. Yeah. Um, and then there's somebody from Charlie's school, Miles, who comes over, and it seems like he's a friend of the family too. So he talking about some things that has happened um, with Charlie since getting the new dog, and stuff with the demon possessing the dog, and of course possessing them. So he's talking about running for class president and saying that his the person he was running against, how they found some you know some things that you're not allowed to have in school, and even there are people that say they saw Charlie putting it in his locker, but of course Charlie won, and now he's the class president. Kind of one of those things you hear about, people in government and stuff, how they're, how they're evil, and so yeah. If you see the movie Society, yeah, that's I'll review that one too, but yeah, it's definitely one of those, yeah, evil people in the government and running the world, and yeah. So, of course, the son is the one that answers the door and starts to, yeah, he knows that there's no good reason why he's there. So, sorry. Mm. So yeah, he's talking to the parents about it, and of course the mom being also possessed by the dog, well, by the demon. Um, he doesn't think anything of it, but the dad's like, yeah, that's not good. So the demon's true form, now not the demon's true form in a sense, but I guess in dog form, it can look scary to some people, but his true form that we see in dog form is a black dog, like one of those smaller dogs, but it looks like he has a black tutu around his neck, or at least the higher part, not the lower. But yeah, Miles, then as he's trying to sleep, uh, it's kind of like when you see Dracula and there's the fog and everything. Yeah, that starts to happen, and it it's an old movie. You can see it on YouTube here. There's a few things. I'll post that link below. I'll post the IMDb link below. Also, you can find my Twitter, PayPal, and Amazon links below as well. So, but yeah, it's not the video quality, it's the atmosphere they're trying to set for the scene. But you see the dog. It's kind of one of those littler dogs. I don't know. It's not a bulldog. I can't think of the breed of the dog, but it they now how you see the dog is that he's bigger than you don't see the full body. It's more the front of him. So of course Miles is like, what is and so he's running out of the house, and Mike is coming home, and then there's somebody else going the other way, and so Miles runs out into the road and gets hit, so Miles ends up dying. So Mike is like, okay, there's definitely something going on. He sees on a news report that there's uh, somebody who got a dog and afterwards went on a killing spree, like something went wrong, and the lady that's being interviewed saying it's that dog. It's something's wrong with that dog. He was never like that. And of course, the reporter's like, does he have any mental health problems? And she insists it's the dog. There's something wrong with that dog. So of course, Mike's like he wants to know. I mean, and that's smart because you need to know, is it in your head? Is it something you're thinking, or you know what? So he goes to a doctor, goes to his doctor, and like, no, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. It's like, so he now he does. I mean, to cement that, yeah, there's definitely something going on here. He does wake up, and when he wakes up, it's in the middle of the night. His wife Betty is right next to him in bed, but he goes up into the attic and sees this drawing, um, and turns around, and of course, you ever see those like drawings, or those where you see somebody sitting in the chair, and then there's one person by them, another person by them, and they have their hands like this, looking, that's how the kids are. And so they're like, oh, it's nothing wrong, and of course the dog's by them, and so yeah, of course the dad can't act like, yeah, there's something wrong, can't do that or else, so yeah, he does find out some info about the dog and what's going on. So he does find out about the demon Vargas. Uh, Finds out he ends up traveling and going to, ironically, he was going to a drawing that's on a rock that, now the cab driver, it's kind of one of those, like, ironic kind of things where the cab driver is like, why are you sitting out here? This has been here like forever. So he's like, I know what you need, and he, a member of his family, can help him with what he's dealing with. So he takes him to this place. The guy's a cab driver, so he takes him to this place. And of course, I always love this. You always gotta love this when he's like, Mike's like, so where can I find him? And he's like, oh, he'll find you. Always love that. It's like, okay, so there's the time. Don't want to be here all day, obviously, but yeah, you always gotta love that. Oh, they'll find you. Right. Yeah. So what time they're gonna be here? I don't know, but they'll be here. Great. You always gotta love that. So, he does find him, and they do talk about it, and he draws something on his hand, and this, he has to be able to put it, the demon in dog form, he has to put it on him. um, so he draws it on his hand like a tattoo, so this is something he's going to have with him. But and I don't want to give away the ending. I know it's an older movie, but I don't really want to give away the ending in case people haven't seen it. If you want to, I could do spoiler videos as well. So, but for people who haven't seen it. So yeah, he draws the symbol on his hand, and you know, after that he goes back home, and it's nighttime, and I think he works at, it looks like a power plant. So he drives there, of course, in his car when he's headed to the power plant. He sees the dog, and the dog's like, yeah, trouble. There's a scene in the movie. Now this, I'll post the scene, the clip, below for you guys as well, because the lady he goes to see to get info about Vargas, and finding out what the demon's name is. She says that if you hold a mirror up to their face and you don't see, them, but you see like something, like obviously scarring, something that's demon-like, that they've been possessed. And of course, he does that to his daughter, and yeah, the daughter is definitely being taken over, by Vargas, and completely at his will. So, but he goes to the power plant, and of course the dog is, of course, goes there as well, and he starts to turn into his true demon form as a dog, and he has to hold it. Now, of course, he has to hold his hand, and hold it to this demon dog. He has to hold it on him. So, not to give the ending away, but well, they're able to take care of it, but you don't know as far as the other dogs, because of course there were 10 puppies, and they only got one, so there was 9 more out there, including the mom. So we don't know what happened. And of course there was that news report about the guy going on a killing spree. Yeah, it's so we don't know about that, but the family's fine. They're back to normal. Then of course I don't want to give it away, but now from when I looked, I didn't see anything about a sequel, although they could have done that. This was kind of like a made-for-TV movie, that they did back then, and it's not bad. It has good acting, so I mean, it's, of course, I mean, you'd see something like that today. So the premise and everything is not bad, but it's, some people might find it a little cheesy or something like that. So but it's a great movie. It's not bad. Those evil pet movies are always, there's always something about those that are interesting. So, but yeah, like I said, you can find. I'll post the link of the clip where he holds the mirror up to his daughter's face, and of course his daughter is sleeping, so he doesn't get in trouble or the daughter doesn't freak out. It's nothing like that, but it's one of those to kind of leave you with, okay, yeah, no, there's something wrong here. Of course, you don't think it could be the mirror, could it? Mm-hmm. So yeah, but obviously, it's meant to, to freak you out and to scare you. So, so that's below. You can find. I'll post links to, the movie below as well, and I'll post the IMDb link below. You can also find my Twitter, my PayPal, my Amazon links below. If you can, follow me on Twitter. Donate some money to me on PayPal. I'll look into doing some other apps for you guys to donate money to as well. And of course, you could buy me something from my Amazon link and be able to help out to make everything look better and sound better and everything. So, I love you guys, and I will be doing giveaways starting next month. I can't do anything yet, but I am going to start doing giveaways and certain things, but I will let you know when I do that. So I love you guys. You have a great day, and hey, like this video, subscribe, post a comment below, but be nice. If you've seen the movie, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like about it. If you have anything to ask about it, do that below. If you have something for me to review, it doesn't have to be a movie or a TV series. It could be music, it could be books, it could be video games. I'm not good at playing video games, but the story, following the story, I love it. I can't wait for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie to come out. Since the first game came out, I've been following it, and I always love a good story. Doesn't matter what it is, but it has a good story, I love it. So, yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be very interesting. So, also with giveaways, like, now I don't think they have these, because this was something I got on Amazon a while ago, but I am going to do reviews on this. Normally what I would do with that is I'd give it a month and try it out and see how things work. And then I'll give a review on it. I don't want to give away things that don't really work, but if you can make something of it, maybe. But also, you know, I'll have another one to give away, so, you know, be able to do that. And of course, I'm an 80s kid, so definitely the colors. Of course, that with cyberpunk and certain things like that, you know, that's the big thing now. So, but yeah, but I won't only do giveaways with stuff, you know, electronics, and I'll do DVD, CD, even records, video game, gift certificates. I'd love to give away streaming service, like a year's worth. Don't I can do a month's worth. Depending on what you want. But yeah. I'm sorry it's been a while since I posted a video, but this is, you know, I'm going to start doing more. And so yeah. Look back every week. You know, like I said, subscribe, like the videos, comment on them, but be nice. That's all I ask. And again, you can find the links below for whatever movie, TV series, video game, music, book, whatever, you know. Find the links below for that. You can, you know, find my Twitter, PayPal, and Amazon links below. Anyways, I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.